click on record. I'll come to new project. I will save this. I'll come down here. I'll click on BS8110. You can use the Euro code. You can use any templates that you feel you want to actually make use of. Sure. Okay, nice. So we are here. What I need to do here now is to I'm going to use, you can use orthogonal axis, you can use the grid. Okay, so whichever way you want to achieve that, you can. I showed you how to use the orthogonal axis the first day. I'm not sure if I showed you the second day, but the video is very much available on the platform. So I will use F2. Let me say this is 3 meters. And then I want this particular, let's come to recent projects. Sorry, I'm going to save it as a picture so that I can be visiting it as we are progressing. So this model, I'll come to BIM, export image. Yes. Let me still pics. Okay. Open. Protasteel to. Not sure I'm in the right place. So open. It's supposed to be 3. Okay. Protasteel. Training. I'm looking for the one I just created now. Okay, I think it's not saved. Well, fine, it's not a problem. Can take it again. To tell me it exists. Okay, let me say 3. I'm trying to create a new project. So let's come back to the picture here. Still pics. Yeah, this is it. Admit. Okay, this is it. What? Okay. Now, you can see what we have here. So, where I'm going to be placing, where the edge of this particular steel here is going to be a grid. Here is another grid. Here is another grid. That's an axis. Here is also going to be an axis. So I'm going to be having 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, from here to here, the width is 5 meters. From here to here, the width is also 5 meters. Then from here to here, I'm going to make it 3 meters, but this is more than 3 meters what is here. Okay, so but in this modeling right now, I'm going to make it 3 meters. So in my modeling tab, if I click on grid and I click and I hold on control, in order for me to have a straight line, I will right click and I will click on offset and I'll press F2 and I will type 5 meters. And I'll offset again. I'll type 3 meters this time around. And then I'll offset again and I will type 5 meters. So I'm going to create another axis here and I will hold on my control. I will right click. I will click on offset, F2. Let me use an interval of 5 meters here. 5 meters, F2, 5 meter, F2, 5 meter. Okay, let me add one more. Okay, let's leave it like this. Then when I come here to my steel member, I'll pick on my steel and then I'll place, but I can pick my steel cross section here. If I double click on this, let me pick this. And I click on OK. And I click on OK. I will have one here, one here. I can as well highlight in order for me to just insert all the columns instead of placing them one by one. Here, I can insert, let me insert a beam. I'll pick the cross section of this beam. I'll double click here. Let me try this. Select, select. Select. Okay, nice. Mind you, the first mistake I made here is that I'm supposed to create stories. Okay, I'm supposed to insert the number of stories that is here. Now, based on this picture that I have here, this, I want it to be on a different level, this concrete here, on a different level. You know, the foundation, the footing itself is at story 0 by default. But this one, let's say this is story 1, and then this is actually my story 2. Okay. So if I go to insert story, I can type on stories and I click on yes. So you can see automatically all of this is taking me to story 2. I can shift everything that I have done here to my story 2. So I'll generate members to other stories and I will select story 2 and I will click on OK. And I will close this. I will double click on story 1 to bring me back to story 1. But because this is actually a steel column, which is not what I want to use at this level, I'm going to highlight them and I will delete them. And I'm also going to highlight the beam and I will delete them. Then I will come to my edit story. Then at this level, I will specify the height of this story to be, let's say 400. Then this one, I will specify this, let's say 6 meters. And then I will click on OK and I will click on yes. Now, at this story 1, I will type in my column and I will specify this by 500 by 500. I can just highlight and impute. What did I do? Okay, in a case where you insert and this is not what you want to do, you can use your normal filter in a case where you have other structural members that you have imputed here. You can just highlight all of this and just come to right click, go to property, and here now, that's the problem of it. They need to really work on this, their filter. The moment this filter comes up anywhere, you cannot shift it, you cannot close it. I have to close it first and then come to property. And then here now, I want to shift this a bit so that I can see what is going on by the side. Okay, now you can see this is the cross section. I want it to be 500 by 500, but here I mistakenly left it at 250. So I can just click here to highlight all of them and click on this one that looks like a pencil and then type in the value of 500. And I'll click on OK and I'll close. Now you can see automatically it has adjusted to 500 by 500. Then the next thing I will do is to come back to my story 2 where I have the steel column here. It's important that when you are modeling, you have your 3D by the side so that you will see whatever you are doing in real life realistically by the side. So I will click on view and I will right click and I will click on 3D physical model. When I click on 3D physical model, you can see what I have here. If I click on view here, I will click on tile vertical. When I click on tile vertical, I'm having my 3D by the side and I'm having this as 2D by this other side. So this now, I want this to be inclined by this height. I want to make this at the side of J. We have the I here, we have the J here. So this is going to be cantilevered. At this J here, I want this height here to increase by, let's say 1.5. Then I will right click this and then I will come to my property of this particular column beam, and then I will make this come to the 3D. At J, I will make it 1,500 and then I will update it and I will close. Now you can see at J, you can see what I have. So I can as well just have this same type of beam spread round to this entire column. Okay. All right. So this is 305, 305.97. So from my model, 305, 305.97, which is what I still have here. So don't worry, I'm going to change that. Someone is saying something. Huh? can you let us see the 3D as you proceed? Okay, your message is just coming now. Yeah, you're already seeing the 3D. So I can just select all of this one by one, or I use the filter tool. It's the same thing. If I come to my property here, del Z right, edit 1500, and I click on OK, and then I will close. Now you can see it has taken effect here. So if I come here, I'm still going to have the same, sorry, this is a concrete beam, steel beam here. Okay. You can see it's still taking the property of this particular one. So that's why you are seeing it inclined like this. I'm going to change that from the settings right now. So I will hold on Control, select all the beams, and then I will right click and I will go to my property, and then here del Z left, I will make it 1500. Okay, then here I'm going to make it 0, and then I will click on OK, and then I will close. Now you can see what we have here. And I want to introduce a beam here and introduce another beam here. Okay, so to do that is, let's say I will maintain that beam here. I'll drop. Oh, what's going on? Okay, still taking that. Well, it's not a problem. I need to just highlight the beams. Let me see if the filter is still. Use my filter, deselect or select only beam. I'll highlight the beam along this, and then I will right click, and I will come to my property, and then I'll come to this place. I will click on this, and then I will change it to 0, and I'll click on OK. All right, I'm sure it's okay now, and then I'll click on close. All right, so we can see what we have here now. Our model is gradually coming to shape. The next thing I will do here now is to introduce, this thing has started warning me now. Let me quickly see if I can finish this before the model, before the time runs out for the second section. Let's come to, yeah, we're modeling, come to this, come to truss, and then select this steel truss. What is this saying? Okay. Steel truss. Okay. You can see we have different pattern. Now here, which I'm going to be showing you tomorrow, you can import a a DXF. That was what I was trying to explain the other time. You can import. Yes, someone is raising his hand. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Someone wanted asking a question now. All right, let me proceed. If I click on this, I can pick a pattern. But like I said, I can import a DXF file. I can import. I can pick from the pre-existing ones that are here. Okay. So let's say I pick this and I click on OK. So if I decide to select this now, I think I had that one here. So if I double click on this, let's say I don't want what I'm seeing right now, I can play around with the height of this. Let's say this height is 600. I don't want this to be. Okay, I believe you can hear me now. Okay, let's say, okay, sorry, the network is just misbehaving. Divide cross diagonal. Okay, we can divide that. Here there are some little settings here, number of spans. Okay, you can see this is the preview, which is down here for this particular truss. This is the preview. Now it's telling us the number of span. So if you count, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is exactly what we have. The number of spans here is 6. So if you want to reduce that span, let's say we want this to be 5, you can reduce that to the number of span, okay? So you can just go through, edit to your taste, to whatever, based on possibly maybe the cross section that the architect has provided for you. You can play around with that, okay, to suit whatever you want to achieve in your model. That's if you want your modeling to look exactly like what you were given by the architect. So let's say this height, I don't really like it. I'm going to change this to 1 meter. And then I will click on OK. All right. So similarly, I can introduce this same truss for all of this, okay? All I need to do is to come back to my truss. and select, hold on, control. Where's this model? This trust. Okay. If you don't want this at the height, or you want to possibly change the spans, you can as well also come back to it, come back to the property as it is highlighted. I think the 1000 I typed in the other time did not work. One thousand. What? I typed in 1000, it was even reducing. Or was it a lesser? Okay. Okay. Not sure if it has increased. Okay. Now it should work. Okay. Sorry about that. Come to properties. Please click on enter for it to change. Okay, so this is what I have. Let me add a polyline to this. Come to my polyline.